I'm Lizzie Harrison for Card Player TV, and today I'm here with a segment on squeeze plays and reverse squeeze plays. With us is Greg Mueller. How's it going? I'm really glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Doing
so,
well.
I know you play a lot of cash games. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the squeeze play. Everybody knows it, but it's player A makes a bet, player B calls, player C calls, player D makes a raise. That's the basic squeeze play, correct?
Yeah.
And where is that most effective? How do you decide when you're going to squeeze?
I think the best way to do a squeeze play is just knowing your opponents. And so if you know a guy's opening a lot with marginal hands, and the guys calling behind are calling pretty
With
weak.
hands like ace-10, ace-jack.
Yeah, they're clearly like annoyed with the guy raising a lot, so they want to see hands, but they don't have anything good, and you know that they're not capable of smooth calling with a monster.
Right.
Now you can just make a move out of the blind, and all three people are going to probably think for a few seconds before they release their hands.
And it seems like it's becoming more and more common. Do you think it's becoming oversaturated, that's overused, the squeeze play?
And hence the reverse squeeze play.
Hence the reverse squeeze play.
It's the new medicine for the squeeze play, and people are doing it more and more all the time. Better players, I think, are. You have to be like, how do I say? Like, if you have aces or kings, you have to be willing to not get squeezed on, and now you got to play post flop. That
right. I mean, because you
could
could face 3 or 4 people post flop.
Right.
If that
so
happens.
People a lot of times get scared. They have aces and they just want to get all their chips in the middle, and they're like, "Fold, I got it." Well, I'd like to get a little action with aces, and so if I feel the guy's ready or capable,
he's going to squeeze behind you. You'll just make that call.
Make
so
the
he
call.
Thinks you're one of the weak players.
Exactly. Now he thinks I got ace-10, and.
So what types of players is that most effective against? Like, how do you know when someone's going to make the squeeze behind you?
Well, if the guy in the blind is a pretty tricky or aggressive player, capable.
It's almost a given.
Well, I mean, if he's timid, you don't want to make that play because now you're giving him a free chance with a 5-8 of clubs or something. But if he's aggressive and senses any kind of weakness and a chance to pick up some dead money, then obviously you want to give him the chance to blow himself, so to say.
So how important is position? Should this be done from early position, late position? We're talking about the reverse squeeze.
I mean, obviously, if you're almost sure that the guy squeezing is going to be in the blind, then it would be better for you to be sitting really late to have everybody else come and call his squeeze, and then you can put the hammer on over top. So
what do you do if, like, the under the gun player raises, you have aces, you're next to act? Do you think?
Again, it really depends on the size of the raise. If it's a big raise, if the table's really aggressive and people are re-raising, then I probably just call. If the table's passive, then I don't want to get $6. So I'll probably. You can't say every time how you're going to play.
Of course, it's so situational.
Yeah, if you're really late in the tournament and you have aces, you don't get them that often. You want to really maybe take the chance to get a lot of chips. I might gamble early on in the tournament. You don't really want to get involved in losing a big pot with them, so I might play them a little more aggressive.
What caliber of hands are you looking for to make a squeeze play or a reverse squeeze play? Like, how good should your hands be?
Well, when you're making a squeeze play, your hands are weaker because you're squeezing. You're not really looking at your hand. Yeah, you're basically just looking at your opponents.
But with the reverse squeeze, you're putting in the third raise. So.
Yeah, that typically your hand, if you think you're going to get called, obviously has to be bigger. If you're just making the play and you know the guy's capable of laying down, you're playing deep enough stacks, then you don't have to have a hand either. So it depends on again. It depends on like the chip sizes. If you're both really deep, you can make more plays. If you're not as deep and you raise and the guy re-raises and you're committed, then you have to have a hand there, obviously.
That makes sense. So everyone, it seems these days, is trying to think ahead of their opponents. At what point are you just thinking in circles around your opponents? Like, when do you just get too far? Because I've heard of the inverse reverse squeeze play, and it's just too far ahead.
Well, the beauty is if you have like, if the stacks are real big in relation to the blinds, then you can get more creative. Once people are committed, you can't do as much because obviously if they raise a big amount of their chips and they got caught with a ace-9 suited and you're in there with a 5-8 offsuit, you're gonna, it's not.
If the pot odds are there, then they're going to have to end
exactly,
up in the hand.
And a lot of times
you
they will.
just can't outthink them if they have
and
the
plus
correct
they know
pot
that
odds.
you're capable of doing that, so there's a chance their ace-9 is good there. So it really depends on the size of the stacks and the capabilities of your opponents, I think.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being here today to talk to me.
You're welcome.
I'm Lizzie Harrison with Greg Mueller for Card Player TV.